Great, welcome back. So in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about the data sources methodology. So in this paper, they take a survey from the Federation of Small Businesses that was conducted in the 2005-2006 year frame. And of course, this article was published in 2008-2009. Something that I want you to think about, and you can comment on this below, when you've got a 3 or 4 year gap between when a survey was administered versus when you write the paper, does that data lose relevance? Especially when you're talking about entrepreneurship, which is always changing, and when you're looking at technology being a huge component of home-based businesses. I mean, I'm just kind of thinking back to it. I mean, 2005, internet had kind of gotten to the high-speed stage. 2008, you're already starting to deal with smartphones and Blackberries and personal digitalized assistants and other things. So a lot had changed, right? And then the other thing that you need to think about and comment on below is a paper that is published in 2008-2009 still relevant to those of us in 2020, especially when it has a very antiquated understanding of technology? Again, you have to think about that was a very different time in 2008-2009. Yes, smartphones were around, but they weren't really a thing yet. I mean, Wi-Fi existed, but it wasn't everywhere like it is today. A lot has changed. So are the findings of this paper still relevant today or not? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Now, let's talk a little bit more about the survey. So they send out the survey to several, I think it was in the hundreds of thousands of individuals, and what do they get? They get an 11.7% response rate. Does this make for a good response rate? And do you believe data when the survey response rate was just over 10%? Just something to consider. Let me know in the comments below. Also, only 77% of home-based businesses, according to their data, are registered for VAT, value-added tax. And what a value-added tax is, this doesn't exist as much in the U.S., but value-added tax means that each stage along a production process is taxed. So like, let's say you're talking about, I love my sweater example. I've used this in a lot of videos. Let's say you're talking about a company that makes sweaters. So the sheep farmer is taxed, the person that turns wool into yarn is taxed, the person that dyes the yarn is taxed, the person that knits the sweaters is taxed, the person that packages the sweater is taxed, the retailer who sells the sweater is taxed. So there's a tax that's levied along every step of the way. And your advantage as a home-based business owner is you get to charge a value-added tax on goods and services that you sell, and you can also get certain tax deductions. But I was looking it up. You basically need to have about 80,000 pounds of turnover per year to even qualify for that. So while they're saying that 77% of home-based businesses are registered with the VAT, I mean, I bet you there's a lot of home-based businesses that only earn $5,000, $10,000 a year, and so they're not on there either. In fact, they probably didn't even answer the survey. So I don't know, something to consider. Now they give an important definition on page 13 of how they're defining home-based businesses, and then they give some exclusions too that I want you to think about. So they say conceptually home-based businesses can be defined as any business entity engaged in selling products or services into the market operated by a self-employed person with or without employees that uses residential property as a base from which they run their operation. Okay? This includes two main types of businesses: those where work or service production occurs in the home, and those where the work occurs away from the home, with the home serving as the administrative base. Work or production occurs in the home versus work or production occurs away from the home, with the home serving an administrative base. Do you think that difference is significant between those two? And do you think it's significant enough to include it in the same definition of home-based businesses? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Now they include some important, or they discuss some important exclusions here. For home-based businesses, they do not count agency workers, independent contractors, or other kinds of free agents. Right? So I know somebody who is basically a contract worker. She works for an accounting firm, the same accounting firm pretty regularly, but she does all the work out of her home. So she would be excluded from this survey. They also exclude farm-based businesses, which are the original home-based business in my opinion. And they exclude commercial homes, in which the home is part of a commercial premises. i.e. a bed and breakfast establishment, so maybe somebody leases out a room in their home. That would include people that use Airbnb. Small hotels, pubs, where the pub is down below and then they live upstairs. And so that's also excluded. Do you think those exclusions are important, and do you think it in any way invalidates the results of their research? Let me know in the comments below. So in the next video, we're going to talk about some insights from the data. As always, I hope you enjoy this. Make sure you give me a thumbs up. That's like a like. Comment down below, and make sure you subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.